Well, welcome to another episode of the PPSS Success Show. My name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also best-selling author. And every single day, I help others unlock potentials and guide them to succeed. Today on the show, we have another fascinating guest. On this show, we interview celebrities, entrepreneurs, business CEOs, athletes, and artists to find out their path to success, how they're able to overcome challenges and adversity, of course, their keys to success. And today's guest is somebody who's been helping a lot of people all over the place really restore their confidence, which is something that's so important because without confidence, you tend not to take on challenges. You tend not to take on fear and you don't succeed as much. So for her, she's helping a lot of people restore their confidence one last and one massage at a time. I've had the privilege of being at the same conference as her a few weeks ago, and she did something very unique, which was actually opening up to people there, doing massages and giving tips, giving insights, helping them restore their energy, which is awesome as well. I missed out, unfortunately, and I can't wait to meet her again and maybe take on that offer of getting a massage because I probably could use a few right now during the holiday seasons. She's been coaching, mentoring, nurturing lots of new and experienced lash artists with top-notch quality products, education, coaching, and insights. She is the founder of Live, Love, Lash. She's a massage therapist, entrepreneur, self-care and beauty expert, energy healer, podcast host, and of course, a lash artist. So please welcome Ms. KATHRYN Michele.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Fong. I'm looking forward to this interview. It's such a pleasure that I missed getting to actually meet you at Mega Success, so I'm sad about that. But I'm really happy that on one of our weekly calls you came on and you were talking a little bit about your podcast and I reached out to you. So thank you so much for letting me be here.
Well, always a joy speaking with people with great energy and great passion like yourself. And I've heard about your lashes and massages before, and I can't believe I missed out on seeing you at the conference there. But first of all, like, what's your origin story? How did you decide on, hey, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, helping people with confidence by doing massages and lashes? Not everybody comes out of school or comes out of, childhood going, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. So as a kid, I wanted to do all kinds of different things. I wanted to be a roller coaster engineer. I wanted to be a chef and then realized I hate cooking. So it kind of fell in my lap. So I was a student athlete growing up. I did gymnastics and I actually had a life-changing injury doing gymnastics that prevented me from continuing to go to college, but also continuing to go down that route. And throughout that process of recovery, I went through a lot of physical therapy. And in that physical therapy, my physical therapist that I had really helped me restore hope in my life where I thought my life is over. I had only known being an athlete for forever and shifting out of that mindset and into, well, what do I do now with my life? So having her there was very helpful and supportive. And that's actually the direction that I started going was towards the physical therapy. I wanted to help other people who have experienced life-changing injuries to be able to get back into normalcy and feel like life isn't over just because you've had this injury. And so I set out to go to physical therapy school, but I actually didn't want to get a PhD. So I decided to go to massage school instead. And with that massage licensing, I've been licensed for over 11 years and it has just transformed my life. I have a lot more confidence. I have a lot more bravery in just taking action in whatever step I need to do to grow my business or grow personally. And that's really where like my growth journey started. And with the massage, I was doing a lot of deep tissue massage. And I knew that that wasn't sustainable. So I looked at other options for what can I do that's still in the self-care industry that is going to kind of break up my day so I'm not constantly taxing my hands and my forearms and my body just doing massage. So I went to esthetician school. So I became an esthetician, learned skincare, waxing, tinting, that kind of stuff. And lashes kind of just, like I said, just kind of fell into my lap. I learned how to do them during esthetician school, and I thought I'm never going to do this because I can't place a single lash. And then the next job that I had, they were like, so you're going to do lashes full time. I was like, okay, cool. And then I went off on my own, and 8 years later, I'm still doing it.
That is absolutely incredible. I kind of could kind of relate to that whole how do I put on a lash? Because I had problems putting on contacts. The first time it was awful. I'm like, is it in? Is it in? Oh no, it's on the floor. So it's one of
The
those things that
struggle is real.
it takes a little bit of practice. But so what is it about lashes now that you go, wow, this is what I love. This is what I'm passionate about. Because most people are like lashes. Well, at least most guys are thinking they're lashes. I don't do anything with them. So explain to people who don't deal with lashes very much, why is it so important and why are you so passionate about it?
So I am extremely passionate about lashes because it's like an instant gratification thing. When a customer comes in, a lot of times they're like, "Oh my gosh, I need a fill. I don't feel very pretty. I feel like my eyes need a little extra oomph." And then the moment they look at their lashes, there's just this complete shift in their energy, in how they show up for themselves. And I've actually done kind of a internal study with some of my clients who are like waitresses or bartenders. And I've noticed and have asked them, do you feel like you get bigger, better tips when you have your lashes on? And every single one of them, hands down, has said yes.
Mhm.
And a lot of that has to do with they feel more confident in their own body. And that makes them have the ability to show up more authentically and show up with more energy and more excitement in what they're doing, and people just gravitate towards that, and that gravitation pulls in money, it pulls in kindness, it pulls in compliments. So it only helps improve them and their lifestyle. And I love helping people find that confidence in themselves because, as an entrepreneur and as a very highly motivated person, there are definitely times where I don't have all that motivation. I don't have all that confidence and that courage. And it would have been so nice to have somebody provide something so simple as putting on lashes or doing a massage to help me feel like I can be confident again. And that's what I truly want to do and give back to the community.
Very, very cool. Now, I normally ask people like, how do you find the perfect coach, or how do you find the right property for you to go and reno? How do you pick the right tile? So how does the person know that that lash is the right lash for them? Like, I'm pretty sure the colors, the shape of your face, the color of your eyes, all that kind of stuff. So how do you choose the perfect lash for your clients?
So I do a full detailed analysis of the face shape, the eye shape, and then I ask detailed questions on what they're actually looking for so that I can provide the best set of lashes that they've ever had. And this will help to cover, like if they have really big space between their lash line and their brows, it can help to cover some of that space. If they have short, small eyes, I can actually elongate them using lashes to make it look like their eyes are bigger. Or if they have really large eyes, I have ways to minimize them so that way they don't look like they're they're shocked all the time. And then as far as like color and style and stuff like that, that's again that's how I go in depth with my intake, where I'm asking them, what kind of things do you do for fun? Are you a partier? Do you like to go out? Are you a call girl? Are you anything like that where you need big, long volume lashes? Or are you more on like the subtle natural side? So usually somebody who's never had lashes, I'll start them with a very simple classic set where it looks very natural. It just enhances what they already have. And then we can go and build from there. And I actually specialize in more of the natural looking lashes because that's kind of my style, and those are the kind of clients that I'm looking for because that fits my lifestyle and my business and my branding. I love the natural look, but we can all use a little extra oomph and enhancement. So I that's what I like to specialize in.
So you're saying that where I have, let's say, a collection of certain, okay, these are the cufflinks I will wear for this event, and then you go, these are the lashes I wear for this party, this would be the lashes I go for professional and for sports and whatnot.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. No, I don't have like a full list of like, you can look at this. But I do talk about natural versus a little bit more dramatic and depending on how it fits into their lifestyle. So for example, if somebody is a yoga instructor or does a lot of exercise throughout the day where they're going to be sweating, I usually tend more towards the natural side for them because I know that they're not cleaning them in between their yoga sessions. So it's going to get gunky, it's going to get sticky. And if they don't clean it out, what can happen is the look of them will start to look very clumpy. And so I would rather do a set where the lashes are separated versus doing like a volume set where those lashes are very, very fine and very easily stick together. So there's lots of different variations in lashes. So it literally can fit anybody. I've worked on little girls who were 12 and they were getting ready for like a beauty pageant. And then I've worked on people who were in their 90s. So
Wow.
lashes has such a variety to fit any lifestyle. And that's actually why I decided to have my own line of lashes and they're called the lifestyle lash because it can fit any lifestyle. It doesn't matter what color it is, it doesn't matter what diameter is. You can fit any set on anybody.
Very, very cool. I mean, you don't know what you don't know, and I just learned a whole bunch of stuff about stuff I never thought I would learn about. So that's very awesome. At what point did you decide to go off on your own? That you go, you know what? I'm ready to have my own line. I'm ready to have my own company, and then become a full-blown entrepreneur yourself.
So it's taken a lot of time to be honest. So when I decided to go off on my own, I had been working for a couple different places up in Flagstaff, Arizona. I worked at a couple different medical spas, and while I loved the environment and the camaraderie of being able to talk to other people throughout the day, I was not fond of the management. The management would tell us how to do our job, even though they were not providers, or they would just blow off complaints. And so I had just had enough of bad bosses telling me how to do my job when I knew that I could do it better without all of that micromanaging. So I went off. I started my own. I started from my home. So I was starting to take clients in my home. I would do mobile services. So I'd go to my clients. And after three official moves, I finally settled in like Phoenix, Arizona, and it's been great. But it has also been difficult. Like there's, life as an entrepreneur. Um, did I answer your question?
Yep. Yeah, you did.
Okay.
So, like, that kind of leads me to my next question, and that is, what was something that was completely like unknown to you? I'm sure you prepared for going off on your own. You prepared for certain things that may or may not happen in entrepreneurship, but you can't prepare for everything. So, was there something that kind of surprised you that you go, "Ooh, I never thought of that," and this is how I pivoted?
Sure. I mean, business in general is completely new to me. I didn't graduate from college. I was studying math, so complete opposite direction with massage and lashes. But I had no idea how to run a business, and I just I didn't plan. And so this is the story of me quitting and getting into my own business. Is I showed up to work and the boss that I was working for, she would berate me and, shame me in front of all of the staff. And I had just had enough of, leaving every single day crying. So I gave her my 2 weeks notice. I went into a service. And by the time I came back out, she had my final paycheck and she was like, okay, thank you. You can leave. So even though I gave my 2 week notice and was being courteous, she didn't offer me that same thing. So I was just kind of like thrown into it. I had to go home and tell my partner, I was like, so I just got fired. I'm going off on my own. How do you feel about this? And he was unemployed at the time. He was going to school. So it was just my income. So there was a lot of scary feelings. And am I capable of doing this? And I just did it. I started marketing. I started reaching out to the people that I knew wanted my service. And from there, it just grew. I solely grew off of referrals. And now, I talk about introductions rather than referrals. Thank you, JT. And with that, I slowly started building and building and building where I would add new services, or if I came across a complaint from a client, I would address it right then and there. And, JT talks a lot about speed of implementation, where as soon as you hear about something that may be incorrect in your business or something that you know that you could improve in your business, the faster you implement it, the more successful that's going to be. And so I took everything that my clients were saying, and whether or not they left and came back or didn't come back, I would still call them, I would still text them and ask them, like, hey, how are you doing? And I was still building relationships, which I didn't even realize that I was doing. And so now that I'm looking back at all of that, I was like, I was actually very good at building those relationships and asking, hey, what can I do better to improve this service to help you feel like you are receiving the most value and the most bang for your buck? Because that's really what service-based industries are about, like making sure that the customer is happy and getting everything that they feel like they deserve off of whatever that they're paying for. So, for example, if you get a client who says, oh, I didn't like this about the massage, okay, well, next time I'd love to add an extra hot towel for you or something, just something very minor that takes you seconds to prepare or be able to accommodate into the service. And the customer is going to feel so much better about, maybe we made a mistake on the last appointment, but that's okay. They're still happy because they're still getting an upgrade. They're still getting something that they feel has offset that mistake.
Mhm.
So it's just learning to roll with the punches. And it's taken me 7 years in my business to really sit with myself and realize, like, it's not personal. I would say that that was like the biggest thing for me to overcome, is that when somebody comes to me for a massage or comes to me for a full set of lashes, but then I'd never see them again after they've said, oh, it was the best service ever. I loved it. Thank you so much. Well, then why aren't you coming back? So I took it so personally. I was like, what did I do wrong? How can I do this better? Please don't leave me. And it was coming from that scarcity mindset. And when you come from that spot, it actually attracts more of that scarcity. So you start getting and start seeing all of your other clients not rebooking. And I had to get over that mindset in order to get over that. So I would say that that was probably the most difficult thing for me to get over and work on in my business.
Now, as you go through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship to get to where you are today, a lot of reasons why you are where you are today is because of all the mishaps or all the downfalls and all that kind of stuff. But in retrospect, if you could go back, what would be one or two things that you would do differently?
I would most definitely hire a coach a lot sooner. A lot sooner. I actually didn't know that coaching or mentorship was even a thing, especially in like the beauty industry. It's very cutthroat. People don't collaborate or haven't collaborated in the past. Now there's starting to be a shift where there's a lot more beauty professionals who are doing that collaboration to draw in more customers, which I think is absolutely amazing. But I had no idea that was a thing. I had no idea that I could even ask for help. So I was just doing it all by myself. And I know that had I actually hired somebody, had JT come into my world 7 years ago, I feel like I would have been a lot more successful than where I'm at now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, coaching, mentoring, one of those things that lots of people don't realize how important it is for them, regardless of what you're trying to do. Lots of people understand from the sports perspective and from the music perspective. They need somebody to kind of train them and mentor them. But when it comes to business, it's like, nah, I could do it on my own. And that's probably why a lot of businesses fail within the first like 2, 3 years. So, something else I wanted to understand a little bit more is that you're a person who's really branding yourself in the lashes area. You offer a lot of different services, as you mentioned before. You add services and add products to what you already have. Um, in other industries, if they are too niche, they're afraid that they may like kind of pigeonhole themselves somewhere that does not allow them to grow their business. Have you found that an issue with you, or how did you navigate around that so that the lashes actually brings more people in, and then you go, hey, I also have this?
Yeah, yeah, that's a great question. So when I first started doing lashes, I didn't know anything about niching down. So I did everything from classic to mega volume lashes. And I still do everything from classic to mega volume lashes. But I started recognizing the people that I connected with the most were typically the girlies who had more natural looking lashes, and that's what they wanted. So I started gravitating more towards that. I started taking classes on, there's a set called Angel Sets where it's similar to a classic set, but you use volume fan lashes in order to make a spike. So it looks a little bit like a classic, but it also adds a little extra darkness in the lash line, which all the girlies want. So I started learning and educating myself more deeply into the foundation of lashing and perfecting all of the micro movements and that kind of stuff. And once I really did that, then I felt like so many other doors started to open up. So I was recognizing what problems I was having. For example, I was ordering my supplies from a large chain lash supplier, and I was spending so much money on a lash tray and an adhesive that I was like, I feel like I could get this cheaper. And so I started doing research on Alibaba or AliExpress and finding manufacturers that would actually be able to white label and do stuff for my brand. And so for years. I mean, it has taken me years to perfect my packaging and perfect the product itself. Going back and forth with the manufacturer of, misprints or producing the wrong packaging, where it's just frustrating all around. But when you get through that and when you have solved your problems and you've got what you've got down, then it becomes easier to start adding new stuff. So, like, I added the product line, I added the podcast, I added educating. So, I'm also an educator. I teach people how to do lashes. And then from there, I also have coaching for business, coaching for your skills, as well as continuing education. So, if they want to learn how to do a specific mapping, I can help them map it out so that way they can perfect that. So it's all about perfecting one thing first and then start adding on and then adding on. Because if you haven't perfected the classic set, but then you want to jump straight into volume sets, your looks aren't going to be as cohesive as they could be, because you probably don't know how to make the fans properly so that it's a nice even spacing, or you haven't perfected the placement and they don't have very good retention because the extensions are just popping off left and right because it didn't get a good seal to the natural lash. So, perfect the foundationals, then slowly add. And one thing that I did recognize while I was building my business is I was doing all the services. I was doing waxing, facials, body treatments, massage, lash extensions, lash lift and tint. So, like, I kept adding and adding and adding. And then I sat in my room and was like, I have thousands of dollars worth of products here that are just going to get thrown away because I'm not advertising enough for the service, so I don't have enough clients. And B, it gets old before I can get to it. So I started slowly taking services back and back and back. And so that way I started niching where I do lash extensions and I do massage. And then I'm slowly starting to incorporate different things within that little pinpoint. So, for example, with massage, I specialize in deep tissue focus work, where the technique I use deals a lot with myofascial release as well as trigger point therapy. And there's an energetic component to my technique as well. So I've slowly started adding different things depending on the clientele that I'm getting as well. So, for example, I work on some professional athletes who need a lot of recovery. And with that recovery comes scar tissue work, as well as trigger point therapy, stretching, and occasionally an adjustment, but usually that's, their body just needs it. And so you just work out the muscle and it'll adjust itself. So, yeah,
Is the adjustment kind of like a chiropractic adjustment?
kind of, yes. So within my scope of practice, I'm not allowed to do physical adjustments, but you can manipulate the tissue enough to where just, the slightest movement of their finger and their wrist will pop.
I see.
So yes, I do very minor adjustments, but it's not something that I offer. It's not something that I say, hey, yes, I'll do your adjustments for you, because I don't do that. It's I work the tissue and it will allow it to adjust itself.
Very, very cool. Uh, Before you mentioned the fact that this industry is very cutthroat, and it's only recently that people start collaborating and whatnot. You're one of those people that are out there coaching people, helping people actually become better, and helping them with their businesses as well. So for you, what is the best type of clientele that comes to you, go, hey, I need help, and then also how do you go through the process of making sure that they are the right people for you?
Great question. So I actually do a consultation first, and usually the clients that I'm looking for for my coaching is someone who's brand new in the lash or beauty industry or even massage industry, who wants to go off on their own, but just isn't sure how to achieve that. So I will help them with setting up their LLC, or, however they wish to structure their business for the long run. And oftentimes, I will say this too, oftentimes in the lash industry, most people jump in and say, oh, I just want to be my own boss. I want to set my own hours, but they don't know everything that actually goes into running a business. So they don't really have like an end goal in mind. They're just like, I hate my job. I want to fix it. I don't like my boss. I'm quitting. I'm starting a lash business. And it's like, okay, cool, let's go. Do you know what to do? No. Okay, well, that's why I'm here. So that's kind of what I do, is I help guide people through like the beginning stages of opening a business and setting up like a marketing strategy, or setting up their pricing structure, and setting up their policies, or setting up their social media platforms. Because, we all nowadays have Facebook and Instagram, but when I was not a business owner and didn't have that entrepreneur mindset, I was just posting random stuff of like me on my walk, my food, uh, just random stuff. But in order to target who you're looking for, you really need to be intentional about your content that you're posting. So I talk about that a little bit. I talk about the customer experience a lot. So that way they can really truly understand why certain people charge $300, $400 for a full set of lashes, whereas as a beginner, they're charging like 35, 40, maybe $50 for a full set of lashes. And it takes them 4 times as long to do it, because you're growing, you're building. But once you get over that stage, once you get past that, it's, I'm not going to say it's smooth sailing, but it's much easier to start to recognize and have the mindset of, I like this. I want to see where it goes. I want to grow with this. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You have to be able to shift and be adaptable.
Awesome. Wanted to touch base on the massage side of things. I'm one of those people that is very reluctant with massages for a long, long period of time. I'm like, don't touch me, don't touch me. I'm good, kind of thing. Until I was like, okay, I really can't deal with this pain anymore. I resorted to going to massage, and it really helped a lot. Can you explain to most people as to why a massage is important on a consistent basis? Whether it's to keep everything kind of functioning well, maintenance wise, and all that kind of stuff. And how does that help with confidence?
Sure, yeah. So it is recommended, just as a human being, to have a massage about once a month. And that helps with blood circulation. It helps with getting your muscles and your tissues moving. And then just a fun fact about your lymphatic system is that it doesn't actually have a motor to get the lymphatic system moving. It actually relies on your muscular, excuse me, it relies on your muscular skeletal system to allow that lymph to drain into the lymph nodes. So a lot of people, especially in the US, are very sedentary. They live a sedentary lifestyle. They sit at a desk all day, they come home, they drive to work, they drive back. And so offsetting all of those stuck positions will help you to feel good. It will also help to prevent any potential overuse injuries or repetitive motion injuries. Where, for example, somebody who works at a desk a lot, they usually have a lot of neck, shoulder, pec issues. And then obviously like carpal tunnel syndrome into the hands and arms. So by doing movements and working the tissue in the opposite direction. So let's take a step back. So they're typing like this. And so we want to open up their shoulders, get some good stretching in through here to help with the lymphatic drainage, to help with the circulation, to help with mobility. And the list goes on and on and on about like just the benefits of getting massage. I would say in regards to building confidence, it's just feeling good in your body helps you feel good mentally. And there's this gut brain connection where, if your gut's off, your mind's off, the same thing happens with your body. If your body's off, it's harder to focus on the things that you need to focus on because you're constantly saying, oh, my neck hurts. Oh, my shoulders hurt. Oh my gosh, my knee hurts, rather than being able to focus on what you're looking at.
Now, for those people like myself at the beginning who are reluctant to go to a massage because of whatever reason, how do you ease people into that comfort level?
So there's a few different ways that I can ease somebody into feeling more comfortable about receiving massage. First, what I offer somebody is like a 5, 10, 15-minute free massage so that they can just kind of feel my energy, my technique, so that they can know and understand. It may not be painful. Like some people think, oh, it's going to be super painful. Some people might be very ticklish. So having me be able to touch into their energy as well as their body, because your body actually does tell signs of when it's uncomfortable. So when I'm able to look at their body mechanics as well as their body language, I'm able to kind of soothe them and ease them into like, just take a deep breath. It's okay. I'm here to help you. If what I'm doing doesn't feel good to you, please let me know and I'll try to make some adjustments in my technique or how I'm going about this massage so that way you're comfortable. And I always tell people like, even though most people do undress when they get a massage, that it's not a requirement. I work through the sheet, I work through people's clothes all the time. It's not a big deal. So there's like a vulnerability aspect to getting massage, and a lot of people don't feel comfortable just completely getting naked on the table. So I'm like, it's okay. There are certain areas of the body that will remain draped the whole time, like the glute area, the chest area for women, the groin area for everybody. I keep those areas covered for their safety as well as my own, but also as a comfort level. If you're not comfortable with having certain areas worked, you just tell me. Like I've had people who say, "Oh, my feet are super sensitive. Please don't touch my feet." No big deal. I got you. I can do everything else, and that just leaves that much more time to address the rest of the body. So, it's just about being flexible and helping them feel comfortable that I'm not here to hurt them. I'm here to help you.
Mhm. Something else that you do and that you incorporate into your massage therapist is the whole energy healing.
Yeah.
Share with us a little bit about that and how do you incorporate the two together?
Yeah. So energy, so everybody has energy. Everything has energy. Even trees have energy. Rocks have energy. And being able to remove myself from myself is super important because if I'm thinking about what am I going to have for dinner tonight? What do I have to do later today? I'm not being present in the moment for my customer. And that will actually change the dynamics of the massage. So when I prepare myself for a massage, I take a deep breath, I do some grounding exercises to, bring myself back into the present moment. And, sometimes it happens during a massage and, you just do the same thing. Keep bringing yourself back to present. And the energy will flow. Some people are more guarded than others, so it's a little bit more difficult to approach that conversation of, I'd love to do some energy work for you, because they're just either not in tune with their body or they're just so not receptive to that type of work. And that's okay. So at that point, I put up my wall so that way I don't start sharing energy. And I just do exclusive manual massage therapy. If they are wanting an energetic component, which honestly most people do, they just don't know that that's what's happening. Uh, because energy work can be extremely subtle. And the technique I've developed is a combination of craniosacral therapy as well as intuitive energy healing. And with that intuitive energy healing, it's all about listening to the body. And the body will tell you inside its tissues where it's off. So, for example, I was working on somebody yesterday who had some issues with her neck and shoulders, but actually she was having issues with her left hip. And so it was spiraling all the way up. But if I wasn't in tune with her fascia, I wouldn't have been able to recognize that it was actually coming and stemming from her hip and her sacrum to be able to address the neck and the shoulder issue. So, it's all about being receptive and being open and allowing what needs to happen. And that goes for both parties. So there are some times where the client is closed off in certain areas, and that may be from trauma or some sort of injury that they haven't let go of yet, because our issues stay in our tissues. Unless it's worked out and actually fully let go from the soul, it's not going to be released. So that's kind of where I come in. I come in and help facilitate that movement of that energy to release it back into the world, the universe, whatever.
I love how you can say all that stuff so professionally and so scientifically. In my mind, it's like magic.
That's so funny because this person actually was like, you're just magic. I love it. And
I,
I've heard that a lot. People say you have magic hands, you're magic, and I'm like, I'm just me.
I had the first time I went to a chiropractor. He was also an energy healer and holistic healing and all that kind of stuff. And I was a little bit skeptical, so I made sure that I kept all my cards to myself. So I walked in and go, "What's wrong with me?" And he just looked at me and the left knee hurts, doesn't it? I'm like, how'd you know? I'm all yours.
Yeah,
Do what you
yeah.
need to do. Um,
That's amazing. That's how you know you've got a good body worker and energy worker, that they can have somebody like you who comes in and is like, just, do your thing.
yeah,
And we do. And it just so happens that it's exactly what they need.
exactly. It was pretty cool that experience. Got a couple of other questions for you before we wrap things up here. When it comes to going through building your business, going through the ups and downs, I'm sure there must have been one of the turning points or greatest lessons learned that you've ever had, where something did not go according to plan, and you made a great discovery as to how you need to change your path. Is there a story that you could share with regards to that?
Sure. So I actually have two short stories. The first one was COVID. And I was living up in Flagstaff. I was with somebody that I had been with for 9 years. And I was starting to realize and recognize that he just wasn't keeping up with his end of our agreement. So I up left, dropped my business, lost all my clients. I started over from scratch in a new location, 2.5 hours away. And the realization I had was, the people that you bring into your life, whether it be clients, whether it be your intimate partner or your friends or business partners, it's so important to go in, and JT says this a lot, as a paranoid optimist. So think about the things that could go wrong so that way you're prepared, but also have an optimistic mindset, because if you focus on those potentially negative things, that's exactly where you're going to start going. It's like when you're driving a NASCAR and you are driving super fast and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to run into the curb. Well, you are if you're going to look straight at it. But if you look at the road, you're not going to hit it. You're going to miss it. So I learned that it's okay to bring in people that may not resonate with where you need to go. But it's also super important to let them go as soon as you get that feeling or emotion of this isn't going to work out. And so I've started to implement that in every single relationship in my life. So I've been doing a lot of networking and I'll meet somebody and I'm like, I think you're a really cool person. I just don't think we're going to connect well. And I do the same thing with my clients. If I get somebody who comes in who's wanting a specific style that I'm not comfortable providing, whether it be unsafe for their lashes or it's just not my style that I offer, I actually refer them out to somebody else because I would rather them be happy with the service than complain every single time coming in saying, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I wanted. So that in a nutshell is like, just recognize the people that are in your life and are they either uplifting you and helping you move forward or are they draining your energy, and get rid of the people who are draining your energy.
Awesome
So that
stuff.
was, so that was, I would say, the biggest lesson that I've learned. Yeah.
And then finally, you're on the world stage and you get to share a message that you want everybody to know KATHRYN for. What would that be?
Ooh, the world stage message that I want to be known for. That's a good one. I would say that kindness and love is so underrated. There are times when people come into your life that they need your kindness and love. And if you're not open and willing to offer that, it could make or break where that person's at in their life. So just choose kindness, choose love, and choose to keep growing.
Great choices and great words to live by. Thank you very much for that. Before I let you go, I got 5 rapid fire questions for you. Give me the first thing that
Okay.
comes to mind.
All right.
Stranded on a deserted island, one food to eat for the rest of your life, no consequence.
Oh, pizza.
Good choice. I get a lot of pizza from people. Hollywood calls and says, "Hey, we would love to do a biopic of you. Who would you cast to play you?"
Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston shows up at your door and goes, "Hey, I got casted to play you. Let's hang out. Let's have some fun." What does that night look like to you?
Oh, we're gonna go scuba diving. We're gonna do a night dive. And then we're gonna go get some mana barbecue, chat, have a good time, and just get to know each other.
Normally, I would ask, what's that special dish you could cook for them? But you mentioned that you hate cooking, so I'm not going to take that question in there. You're on a road trip for a long period of time, and there's only one song that plays over and over and over again. Which is that song that you won't get sick of?
Mm. Thunder by Imagine Dragons.
Ooh, nice choice. And then I think that's 4 questions. Okay, fifth question, give me a number from 1 to 6.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. So the word is paperweight. Okay. So how would you relate success to paperweight?
Ooh, okay. Success to paperweight. Um, so if you are focused too much on the money aspect of success, it can feel like a paperweight. It can feel like you are being weighed down. Instead, focus on what does success mean to you and how do you get there?
Nicely done. So that's how success is like a paperweight. Thank you very much for your time, your stories, your expertise. I learned a lot of stuff, and I can't lie. I tried not to bash my eyelashes for the longest time. Every time you said the word lash, I was like, okay, keep my eyes open. But anyway, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, and also any final words from you?
So the best way to get in contact with me is through my Instagram page. It's live.loveandlash. And what was the second question?
Any final words?
Final words. No, I think I'm good. I think just, like I said earlier, be kind, choose love, choose growth.
Awesome. Thank you. So everybody make sure you connect with KATHRYN. She has a podcast. She has a lot of great videos and all that content that's out there. Also, if you want to get your lashes done, obviously she's a person to go to. Massages as well. I'm sure she'll help you out with that. If you always have that kink in your neck, she's the right person. So thank you very much for everybody else. Until next time, KATHRYN, Fong, today is the day to unlock your peak potential. We'll see you later.